sky is big. Leaves are falling, the cattle are bawling, riding out on the gather.
I love ranching because it brings us to, what God made us to be. People to be stewards of the land.
The ranching is, well, I think we can see it. It's wide open spaces.
It's just a good lifestyle. It makes you, enjoy life.
We do care about the cattle that we raise, and it's a fact, we do, because we make a living doing it.
We all know the saying, beef, it's what's for dinner. And it may very well be your dinner tonight. But where does that beef come from? Who are the types of people producing cattle for consumption? What is their ultimate motivation to work from sunup to sundown? With only 2% of Americans still working the land, why do some choose to continue to carry on with an agricultural lifestyle? We'll explore these questions through the experiences of some dedicated Montana ranchers and their families.
My father and grandfather actually moved to Montana from Texas in 1944. And my mother's a native Montanan. She's 92 years old, and she lived just a few miles south of here her whole life. So we've been on this ranch this long. I'm the third generation, my son's the fourth, and grandsons are the fifth. I think being able to work with your family is very important, and to me family is probably the most important, is that you have a good strong family base. My desire is that obviously my ranch is passed on to my children and my grandchildren. The ability to keep ranches or farms, whatever it is, in families, not in corporate, is the key to having a successful food chain. Families will work at it way harder than the corporate. We've seen what happened in the Soviet Union when they took the farms away from the families and tried to do it corporate. It didn't work. So to me, that's the key, is to find a way to pass these family ranches on to the next generation so that they can continue to farm and produce beef for the world. The biggest issue that I see actually facing the cattle industry is getting our story told. I think that the outside forces don't understand ranchers. They don't understand the problems that we go through. We have so many people that have no ties to the land anymore that we have to make a real effort to get out and to tell our story, because we have a very good story to tell.
We've been in the registered seed stock Angus business since for about 89 years. Dad saw a lot of potential on this ranch, and that's how we ended up buying this place. I like a little bit of everything. The calving when it first starts is a lot of fun. By the time you're done, it's not so fun. And then we kind of go into branding, and that's a lot of fun. And then we, from there, it's just seasonal. You get to see how the new genetics in those cattle change, and from a calf from when you wean them, and then from then on to when you sell them as bulls. And I like the summer, going up to our summer country and riding and doctoring and checking cattle, watching for wolves. Any resource-based industry in this state, it's a challenge. The ranchers are really, I would say, truly the first conservationists, but it takes one generation or two to make a ranch, and it takes 3 to lose it. And there's a lot of truth to that. So, I hope that we can put the next generation of kids on the ranch and keep them there and make it so that it can continue on.
This is salt and mineral, and then we'll put out a hard salt block too. With our replacement heifers, we really want to build up their immune system so they have a healthy first calf.
Sydney has never lived anywhere other than the house that we're in, except when he went to school in Bozeman. Grandma and Grandpa got married, Sydney's mom and dad, the first part of October, because they could take their honeymoon while they took a load of cattle out to Portland to be sold.
On the train.
And their honeymoon was in the caboose. We got married the first part of December because the cows were home and they hadn't started calving real hard yet, and we weren't feeding a whole lot yet. And so you have to plan things that are going to happen around things that are happening on the ranch.
Our two grandmas were here all the time. Every day we were over there every day. And so we were able to have strong women role models. And so we're pretty tough girls. But we also have really good work ethic from our dad too. See the ditch that goes down the fence line here? What it does is it ascends the water down the fence line, and then it'll sub-irrigate all this field down below here. Ranch life can be monotonous at times. You're feeding cows every day, or you're haying for a certain period of time. You always have certain things at the time of the year, but if a snowstorm comes along, you've got to learn to adapt. If there's drought, you've got to learn to adapt.
You recognize the work that your forefathers put into it, developing a ranch, and it's hard to let that go.
The work has to be done, and we did it together, and I'm proud of what we've accomplished. It's a good life because you're all together working for one reason, not working because you believe in what you do. You feel that you're providing something for this nation and the world, and it's just, we had a special opportunity to always be together.
It says there is a large push in the city of Missoula for local food from local farms and ranches. Hopefully that is also including of livestock production. That will help us be able to stay here, I think.
The Hahn Ranch family history starts with my great-grandpa coming from Illinois and ending up in Helena, running a business college, but he wanted to be a rancher, and we've been here ever since. You're able to put up hay one day and move cattle the next day. I like being outside. There's a lot of satisfaction in being a producer, seeing a product that you've spent all season raising or growing and having it harvested. I start in the morning, probably spend a couple hours irrigating, moving some irrigation pipe, or possibly haying. You never know. I don't really have a steady schedule, but there's bound to be some haying involved. Still feel moisture in there. Ranching's an interesting occupation because it's a very capital intense type of operation. You own a lot of things to accomplish your job, especially where we have a farm with a ranch. I hope that this place continues on for another 100 years and just have the ranch continue to be a viable business. As far as the ranching industry, I hope that it just continues to do what it does, provides food for consumers in the U.S. and across the world. And it's just one of the few industries where you can manage a natural resource, a renewable natural resource, and produce something that consumers need that they probably couldn't get on their own otherwise. Water is the most important resource in the world, I think, and it is finite. On our property, we do a lot of different irrigation management practices to try to maximize the value of the water that we apply to crops. We put in spring developments, water developments on some of our dry rangeland to help utilize the rangeland more efficiently. And we work with Fish, Wildlife and Parks, periodically cooperate with them on projects to improve habitat for fisheries. Changing irrigation water is part of having irrigation water and having good crops. It's a fairly efficient way to apply 3 inches of water, and I don't think without irrigation water we'd have probably 1/10 would be a high estimate of the crop that we get out of this valley. I mean, irrigation water makes or breaks you.
and I get stuck together a lot. We like it.
Yeah, we like the horse part, and Brent does a lot of the mechanicking and stuff, and I guess everybody kind of does a little bit of everything. But
David, her dad, does the cows. Randy's the logger, and so he likes to be in the woods and logging. In the summertime, he irrigates this place and the Raymond Ranch across the valley and kind of caretakes it.
Then a lot of the cousins, the boys, do a lot of the sharpening sickles, and they do a lot of stuff around for
mechanicking, fencing. So far, we girls get out of that stuff.
All the stuff that we don't want to do.
Yeah. They'll tell us, okay, this bunch needs to be moved. Kind of like today, you know, go out and move them from this place to this place and go see what you can find. And sometimes they'll send a boy on a motorbike with us if we're going way up on the mountain.
It's not easy all the time, and I'm just starting to learn that. But I wouldn't want to have grown up any other way. There's a responsibility that you learn. I mean, most of us have done 4-H and been involved in that and been with the animals. After going away to college and everything, I guess I've learned since then how much that I have been blessed with, you know, learned a little bit of appreciation.
My granddad homesteaded, and we built the ranch up from where he homesteaded. My dad is here working on the ranch with me. We're a cow-calf operation. Keeps us busy, but I wouldn't have it any other way. As far as you can see is my summer country. I run my cattle. Cows and calves are run down in this country here ahead of us. And back over that way I run my yearling steers. I serve as a director on the Montana Beef Council. I just like to contribute whatever I can to the industry. Growing up on a ranch, one, it makes you independent pretty fast. One of the first times I helped on the ranch, I don't even know how old I was, 6, 7, something like that. And my dad puts me on the tractor and he says, this is your clutch, here's your throttle, and I want you to go around in circles, go at this speed, and when we tell you to stop, then you pull the clutch and you stop it. So you did that. I mean, but that's just kind of, and I think that's the kind of mentality of the whole ranching industry is they show you what to do, and then you do it, and you either make a mistake or you don't make a mistake, and if you make a mistake, you learn how to problem solve. Everybody takes for granted the food that we produce, and it's just, it's kind of a sad thing that they I don't know if they really realize what we do for them and how much we produce. As far as the future goes with me, I hope I can stay on here. You've got a lot of costs with it, the cost of a new swather, cost of a new baler, cost of a used baler, cost of a used tractor. They're expensive in it, and the cost of equipment, the cost of running a ranch is kind of expensive, but I think I can stay on here. I hope I pass the ranch down to my daughter. She wants to be a large animal vet when she graduates, so that'd be great, and I'd have a practicing vet on the ranch.